Gauteng e-tolls will be scrapped from midnight tonight, but motorists are still liable to settle their debt. This is according to Minister of Transport Sindisiwe Chikunga. For more on this, we're joined by Advocate Stefanie Fick, Outa's Head of Legal. Good evening, Stefanie. So you've been at the forefront fighting e-tolls, and tonight, finally, the e-tolls will be switched off at midnight. Your reaction?
It's been a long fight. Outa started with their fight against the e-toll scheme, but you know what? I have to stand still and also thank all the brave motorists that right from the start said they are not going to pay for this unlawful scheme, this corrupt scheme. And if it wasn't for them and their support, I don't think we would be here today. Looking at or listening to the conference and being reminded of it, you know what? I think what the government should have said in terms of lessons learned is that they should listen to civil society, to the people of South Africa before making decisions like this, and that they should actually have apologized to each and every one of us.
You also said that they need to take responsibility and state that, in fact, this particular decision was grossly irrational.
Indeed. There was not proper consultation. There were better ways at that point to finance the upgrade, because it was all about the upgrade of the GFIP, of the N1. It needed to be widened, etc. So there's nothing wrong with that. But if you take into account how this is normally funded and the fact that e-tolls is nowhere else in the country, the whole concept was ill-conceived right from the start. And the fact that there's no way for them to enforce this. And, administrative difficulties, the fact that this cost us way more than it should have because of corruption, this was an ill-conceived idea right from the start.
So, Stefanie, everybody's happy. We welcome the switch off. But the minister, as you've heard in that intro, has stated that motorists are liable for their debt. So everybody at this point would have to pay their debt. What information do we have around the process for repayment or prosecution for outstanding toll fees? Or actually, better yet, what is your position on just that statement alone, to pay?
Don't pay your e-toll debt. If you were convinced right from the start that you're not going to pay your e-toll debt, I don't know why you would do that now. The historic debt is, how are they going to enforce it? So that's the problem. So in our view, that's a fallacy. It is a theory. It is, yes, I understand that the government is saying that if you have outstanding e-tolls, you need to pay it. They will say that because that was their scheme. They believe in the scheme. But practically, how are they going to enforce it? The last way for them to really enforce the fact that, and go after you for outstanding e-toll bills was to send you a summons. But in March 2019, the Sunroll board decided that they will not go after the e-toll bill in that way. So how other way will they enforce this debt? The debt has already been written off in terms of Sunroll's financials. So there's really no reason why they should still keep this hanging over everybody's head.
But there were those that were paying and probably might still want to settle. What information was given, though, around that process for the people that still would like to?
I think in terms of clearing the accounts and for the next 30 days, if I understood the process correctly, you will have an opportunity to pay. I mean, if you really feel that you need to settle your outstanding e-tolls, please do. And Sunroll is not going away. The offices are not going away. So you will still be able to pay, your debt and e-tolls up till 12 o'clock tonight. So feel free to do that. But what I do understand, and that was the question, if you have historic debt, will you be able to use the e-tag? Because, we have to agree that using the e-tag for the traditional boom down, the long distance toll is convenient. I mean, it's lekker not to stand in a queue in order to pay for your e-toll. So will we be able to use that? And what I understood from the minister and from Sunroll and everybody is just wait for 30 days and thereafter your debt will be clear on your e-tag. We will remain to be seen if that is true. But your e-tag, let's, for example, consider the fact that you have paid. So you're up to date and after 12 o'clock, your e-tag will no longer be. You can still use that e-tag. In terms of long distance stall, parking, etc., etc.
All right, Stefanie, thank you very much for your time.